Hello, hi, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. My name is Jim. We talk about, listen to, and do all sorts of things music-y. We've just finished listening to this. This is I.O. by Peter Gabriel, and it came out last year, 2023. And it's his first album in, I believe, 21 years. The 12 songs, but released in two different versions, the bright side and the dark side. So we've just listened to the dark side, and I think the bright side is pretty much exactly the same, but the mix is a bit shinier, possibly. I don't really know. I think it's the same recording, but just treated differently. Anyway, this is really quite a remarkable album for many reasons, really. Firstly, it stands defiantly against the noise of modern music, and I'm not talking about sort of the genre that we tend to listen to here. Those are the prog and the rock and the metal and that sort of stuff. This is a contemporary sounding recording in that the instruments, there's a lot of virtual synths in here, a lot of virtual instruments, a lot of synthesizers, keyboard parts. Studio plays a massive part in this record, but it doesn't sound like anything else that is sort of using those sort of instrumentation. It's very much it sounds, I said at one stage, I think it was on the first video, that it sounds like it's a record that could have been made at the height of the sort of like the CD era, so in the late 80s, early 90s, but transferred forward 35 years to now, with the benefit of modern recording techniques and processes. So it sounds, as I say, extraordinary in one way, because of the sounds that are used on here to my ears, are the ones which are used very much in contemporary dance music and electronica and stuff like that. But it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like a progressive pop record almost. I don't really know sort of what genre this fits in, or if it does at all. This sort of kind of fits across genres, and it doesn't really matter what you tend to listen to. If you sort of hone in on one specific sort of sound, there's a message in here, I think, for everybody, and it unfolds slowly. There's not a rush, and there are moments of contemplation and of taking time on here, but they're punctuated by sort of faster, more up-tempo songs. Just kind of just like releases the tension a bit and sort of gives you sort of a breather between sort of like the sort of the deeper, really sort of hard-hitting tracks on here. I think there's a sense of acceptance from Peter Gabriel about mortality and about his place in the universe. And I suppose from that we can extract to sort of all of our places in the universe. And it's that gentle, knowing, loving acceptance of who he is, where he is, what he is, that has given him this sort of this calmness. There's a real sense of calm, and often in music, there's a could be a sense of adventure or of yearning or searching for something. And I don't think he's searching for anything here. He's sort of found it, and he said, "Well, this is it. This is kind of what I've come to realize." And this is just laying it down, just saying what I think. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful sounding piece of music. Pieces of music. 12 tracks. 12 tracks. Released over a course of, I don't know how long it took to release them all, but they're sort of like, as I say, a drip feed of them, one song after another, until all of a sudden, by the end of the year, the end of December, this came out as an album, and all of the tracks had already been released as singles. I suppose because he had not released anything for such a long time, just over 20 years, that to release an album all at once on an unsuspecting world would probably be slightly overwhelming. So to do it this way, this slow feed, kind of didn't sort of ruffle feathers, didn't cause this huge spike in interest. I think there probably was when the first record came out, perhaps, or first single, the probably, oh, but then sort of more came out, and over time, after maybe sort of 4 or 5, it was just acceptance that, okay, this is now sort of how this is being done. And I don't imagine there was any idea that there was going to be an album. It was just Peter Gabriel's doing music like this now, releasing songs. And I think it's a really, really, really clever way to do it. It's a lovely selection of stuff on here. There's hope on here with tracks like sort of Road of Joy and This Is Home, Love Can Heal. There's the sort of slight vision of dystopia with the Panopticon and the Court, but also Playing for Time. So much. And again, this is Home and Live and Let Live, a sort of real reflections on self and of being here in the now and the present. And I think it's a really, 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 really good record. It stands and sounds very different, not obviously stylistically, obviously it does, but from the David Gilmour one we listened to last week, which again to my ears sounded very much like a reflection on life. I'm an old man getting towards the end of it, looking back on what I've achieved and stuff like that. That was probably, this feels a little even more calm than that did. And a month or so ago before that, we had the John Anderson one, didn't we, with True. So all of these records being released at an artist's certain time of life, looking back, reflecting, and maybe saying goodbye. Right? It's a sad thing, but you know, it's going to happen. All of these amazing artists from the late 60s, early 70s, and through to the 80s will now be getting to a period in their life where they don't really want to necessarily keep going and doing things, and they are at this situation, this stage in life, where they are able to reflect, look back, and pass comment. Some of the tracks on here are quite sort of dark and atmospheric, and some of them are sort of racing ahead, not racing ahead, but sort of surging ahead and being more sort of optimistic. And I think there's general optimism all the way throughout, but I think everything sort of comes back to this idea of things coming in, things going out, and being a part of everything. And it's a real grounding, a real just way to sort of underscore and underline actually what we are and who we are. And it's a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous record. He's done something very, very special with this. And I often say this when I listen to a record, this is a very, 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 very great record. But it is, and it's I'm kind of running out of superlatives to say about it. I haven't seen or heard any other reviews about it, so as usual, I might be completely wide of the mark of what the sort of the general consensus is, but I can only reflect on what I feel about it and what I think about it. And I think that's probably fair. Not everyone's going to sort of listen to stuff and see it and hear it in the same way. But for me, this is a really, really solid record, and certainly one that I think requires more listening, because I think the more you listen to it, the more it will speak to you and unfurl and just sort of give you more time to sort of be at one with its calmness and acceptance. I mean, that's kind of what I'm going to say about it. Right. Oh, I will see you all on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. And until then, this is Jim, over and out.